When a woman realizes you've lost interest, it triggers a noticeable shift in her behavior. Women are highly sensitive to attention and energy, especially from men they've been involved with, those who have shown genuine attraction. This isn't just about emotions, it's about the underlying power dynamic. The moment you pull back, whether consciously or naturally, it disrupts her sense of control. Suddenly, she's no longer the one being pursued, which forces her to reassess her position in your life. This reaction isn't random, it's deeply rooted in psychology and evolutionary instincts. When a man's validation disappears, it can spark confusion, self-doubt, and even a competitive drive to regain that lost attention. This is why you may notice a woman unexpectedly reaching out more, trying to reconnect, or even making an appearance in places she knows you'll be. It's not just about missing your presence, it's about regaining the sense of security and control she once had when you were actively interested. Understanding this shift gives you an edge. When you learn to hold back and operate from a mindset of abundance rather than neediness, you project strength and confidence. Women instinctively respect and are drawn to men who exude this energy. This isn't about playing games, it's about recognizing your own value and positioning yourself as someone who isn't easily swayed by fleeting emotions. In this video, I'll break down the key reactions a woman has when she senses your interest fading and teach you how to navigate this dynamic effectively. Mastering this will not only elevate your dating life, but also enhance your confidence in all relationships. Let's dive in. Number 1. She becomes more attentive. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, one of the first things you'll notice is a sudden shift in her behavior. She becomes more attentive. Women have a natural ability to pick up on subtle changes in energy, and the moment she senses you pulling away, it creates a void she feels compelled to fill. This shift activates her competitive instinct, especially if she suspects other women might now have your attention. She starts paying closer attention to your actions, words, and overall demeanor, even things she previously overlooked. This newfound attentiveness often shows up as her initiating conversations more frequently, asking about your day, or finding ways to insert herself into your life. You might receive unexpected compliments, hear her laugh at jokes she once ignored, or notice her engaging more with your social media posts. None of this is accidental, it's her way of re-establishing a connection and redirecting your focus back to her. From your perspective, this is where maintaining your composure is crucial. A man who reacts too quickly to this new attention risks falling back into her frame. It's tempting to reciprocate her enthusiasm, but doing so too eagerly can undo the power shift you've just created. Instead, remain steady, stay focused on your priorities, and let her come to you. Respond with confidence, but avoid over-investing. You may also notice her showing a sudden interest in things that matter to you. She might ask about your hobbies, suggest plans she knows you'd enjoy, or bring up topics from past conversations. This is her way of signaling that she values your interests and wants to align with them. Again, don't let this derail your frame. Acknowledge her efforts, but don't lose sight of your own path. Her attentiveness may also be accompanied by subtle signs of nervousness. She might appear more eager to please, or her messages may carry an undertone of insecurity, asking if you're upset or if something has changed. These cues indicate that she feels unsettled by your withdrawal and is trying to gauge where she stands. While this shift can boost your ego, it's essential to remain composed. Overplaying your hand by acting dismissive or arrogant can backfire, turning her attentiveness into resentment. Instead, keep your interactions measured and purposeful. A high-value man doesn't rush to reassure someone who suddenly realizes they might lose him. By staying calm and grounded, you reinforce the idea that her increased attention is a response to your strength, not something you need to chase or validate. Recognizing and handling this shift correctly allows you to remain in control of the dynamic, keeping her intrigued while reinforcing your value. It's a delicate balance, but mastering it sets the tone for the power you hold moving forward. Number 2, she tests your resolve. When a woman senses that you've lost interest, her instinctive reaction is often to test your resolve. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude confidence and emotional stability, but if you pull back, she may challenge you to see whether your withdrawal is real or just a temporary tactic. These tests are her way of assessing your strength, self-discipline, and commitment to the new dynamic you've established. How you respond will determine whether she respects you or sees you as someone easily influenced. One of the most common tests is her acting distant or indifferent, attempting to see if you'll chase her. If she notices your withdrawal, she may mirror your behavior to regain control. This is a calculated movement to elicit a reaction. Many men fall into the trap of overcompensating, rushing to reassure her, or doubling their efforts to reconnect. Reacting this way hands the power back to her and diminishes the impact of your initial withdrawal. Instead, you should stay composed and unbothered. If she pulls away, match her energy or maintain a calm detachment. Your lack of response sends a powerful message: you're not playing games, and your self-worth doesn't depend on her validation. This approach often forces her to reconsider and drop the act, making her more likely to re-engage with you. Another test she might use is attempting to provoke jealousy. She may casually mention other men, post attention-seeking photos, or subtly hint at her options. This tactic is designed to trigger insecurity in you and compel you to reassert your interest in her. If you take the bait and react emotionally, you give her the control she seeks. But by staying cool and unaffected, you reinforce your value. A man who remains unfazed by these attempts displays confidence and emotional maturity, qualities women find deeply attractive. She may also push your boundaries by becoming more demanding or critical. This could manifest as her nitpicking trivial issues or challenging you to justify your actions. The purpose is to shake your resolve and pull you back into her frame of influence. To counter this, avoid getting dragged into unnecessary debates or over-explaining yourself. Instead, keep your responses clear, firm, and minimal, demonstrating that you refuse to be drawn into unnecessary drama. Understanding the psychology behind these tests is essential. Women respect men who stand firm under pressure and don't waver at the first sign of resistance. Each test is an opportunity to reinforce your value and showcase your independence. The more consistently you handle these situations with confidence and self-control, the more she will view you as a man worth pursuing. By standing your ground, you maintain control of the dynamic, increase her respect for you, and solidify yourself as someone who operates on his own terms. Number 3, she becomes emotionally unpredictable. When a woman senses that you've lost interest, one of the most noticeable changes is a surge in emotional unpredictability. This shift occurs because your withdrawal disrupts her sense of control and emotional security. Women are highly attuned to relational dynamics, and when they feel that balance slipping, it creates internal tension that often surfaces as mood swings, mixed signals, or even dramatic behavior. These fluctuations are not random, rather, they are subconscious attempts to regain control over the connection. Initially, she may respond with increased warmth and affection, showering you with compliments, seeking validation, or expressing how much she values you. This is a strategic effort to pull you back into her frame by reigniting your interest. However, if her attempts do not produce the desired reaction, her demeanor may shift abruptly to frustration, criticism, or even anger. These emotional spikes are meant to provoke a response from you, testing whether her shifts in behavior can pull you back into engagement. You might notice her picking unnecessary fights over trivial matters, questioning your feelings, or making accusations about your lack of care. These reactions are designed to force you into addressing her emotions, which ultimately draws you back into her world. Many men fall into the trap of over-explaining, defending themselves, or attempting to soothe her emotions, each of which hands control back to her. Instead, the key is to remain composed and emotionally detached. Let her emotional waves crash without being swept away by them. Another manifestation of this unpredictability is sending mixed signals. She may act overly affectionate one moment, then distant and uninterested the next. This push-pull dynamic is a test to see if you will chase when she withdraws or cling when she acts needy. The solution? Stop trying to decode every signal. Instead, focus on maintaining your own emotional stability. When you refuse to be affected, the power of mixed signals diminishes. In some cases, emotional unpredictability escalates into attention-seeking behavior, posting cryptic messages on social media, flaunting her social life, or creating situations designed to make you feel left out. These tactics are meant to shift your focus back onto her, making you wonder what she's up to. The best response is no response. A man who remains unshaken by such provocation sends a strong message: his worth is not dictated by her attention or approval. Ultimately, her emotional turbulence is a reaction to the discomfort of your withdrawal and a last-ditch effort to regain control. By staying calm, grounded, and emotionally disciplined, you show that her tactics don't affect you. This reinforces your value, ensuring that she has to work to earn your attention again. Number 4. She tries to reignite your interest. Once a woman realizes you've lost interest, she often shifts gears, attempting to reignite your desire. This reaction stems from a need to reclaim the attention and validation she feels slipping away. When she senses your focus has drifted elsewhere, her instinct is to re-establish her influence over you by becoming more appealing, desirable, and engaging. This phase is crucial because it's when she starts putting in effort to prove her worth, a stark contrast to when she may have taken your interest for granted. One of her first strategies is enhancing her physical appearance. Women understand how visual men are, and if she notices you've checked out, she'll make an effort to appear more attractive. This could mean dressing more provocatively, experimenting with her hair or makeup, or accentuating her best features in ways that are hard to ignore. Pay attention to how she presents herself around you. If she's suddenly putting in extra effort, it's a clear sign she's trying to recapture your attention. Beyond her appearance, she may also shift her demeanor. She might become more agreeable, playful, or flirtatious, emphasizing the qualities she knows you found attractive in the first place. You might notice her laughing more at your jokes, initiating light-hearted banter, or reminiscing about past good times. This is her way of reigniting the spark, subtly reminding you of the connection you once shared. While this attention may feel flattering, it's important to maintain your composure. A high-value man doesn't immediately fold at the first sign of renewed interest. He evaluates whether her effort is genuine or merely a reaction to losing control. Another tactic she might use is creating opportunities for you to notice her. She could go out of her way to cross paths with you, be more active on social media, or subtly place herself in environments where she knows you'll be. These actions aren't random, they're deliberate. She wants to remind you of her presence and show you what you're missing. While these gestures might appear coincidental, they are carefully calculated moves designed to draw your attention back. Additionally, she might start aligning herself with your interests. If you've mentioned liking a specific hobby, activity, or personality trait, she may suddenly embody those qualities. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, as it shows she's willing to put in effort. However, it's also a test of your resolve. Don't immediately reward this behavior. Observe whether these changes are consistent over time or merely a short-term strategy to regain your interest. The most important thing you can do during this phase is remain steady. Don't fall back into old patterns of chasing or over-investing in her efforts. Let her work to rebuild the connection on your terms. A high-value man understands that her renewed interest is a response to his self-respect and independence. By maintaining your frame, you ensure that any rekindled connection is based on mutual value, not just her temporary need to reclaim control. Number 5. She plays mind games. When a woman senses that you've lost interest, she may resort to subtle psychological tactics to regain control. These mind games are crafted to confuse you, stir emotional reactions, and shift the power dynamic back in her favor. By testing your patience and emotional discipline, she seeks to make you question your stance. However, recognizing these strategies and handling them with confidence ensures you don't fall into her trap. One of the most common mind games she might play is creating emotional uncertainty. She'll alternate between appearing detached and dropping subtle hints that she still cares. This could be through cryptic social media posts, suggesting she's moved on, or acting indifferent in person while sending late-night texts that hint otherwise. The objective is to leave you wondering about her true feelings, tempting you to seek clarity, which places her back in control. The best way to counter this? Resist the urge to chase or seek reassurance. Instead, let her inconsistency expose itself while you remain emotionally detached. Another tactic is provoking jealousy. She might casually mention other men, highlight her newfound social life, or deliberately showcase how much fun she's having without you. This isn't random, it's a calculated move to trigger an emotional reaction. If she sees you flustered or trying to reclaim her attention, she knows she still holds power over you. The most effective response is calm indifference. A man who doesn't react to such attempts radiates confidence and high value, which often frustrates her manipulative efforts. She may also try to manipulate your sense of guilt or obligation. This could come in the form of reminding you of past shared experiences, emphasizing how much she invested in the relationship, or even portraying herself as the victim. The goal is to make you reconsider your decision to pull away. While feeling compassion is natural, don't let guilt dictate your actions. Responding out of obligation rather than genuine interest only weakens your position. In more extreme scenarios, she might test your resolve by threatening to walk away completely. Often, this is merely a bluff to see if you'll cave and plead for her attention. If you give in, she reclaims control and confirms that your withdrawal was temporary. The best response? Call her bluff. A man who is willing to let her go, if necessary, demonstrates unwavering self-worth. Ultimately, mind games are designed to manipulate your emotions, and your strongest defense is emotional control. The moment you react impulsively, you surrender your advantage. Instead, prioritize clarity, patience, and firm boundaries. A woman will respect a man who sees through her games and remains unaffected. By staying grounded and consistent, you not only reinforce your value but also turn the tables, leaving her the one trying to figure you out. Number 6. She attempts to reassert dominance. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, she may try to reassert dominance in the dynamic. This is a defense mechanism driven by her need for control, especially when she senses that the power balance has shifted. Her goal is to regain the upper hand and prove that she is the one steering the relationship. This phase can be subtle or overt, but recognizing it and responding with steady confidence is crucial. One way she might try to reassert dominance is by becoming dismissive or condescending. She may downplay your value, mock your choices, or highlight her options in an attempt to undermine your self-assurance. For instance, she might say things like, "You're so different lately, it's not as attractive as you think," or subtly mention that other men are interested in her. These calculated moves are meant to provoke insecurity and make you seek her validation again. The worst mistake you can make here is taking the bait. Don't defend yourself or argue. Instead, remain calm and let her words fall flat. A man who doesn't react emotionally to such tactics demonstrates true inner strength and self-worth. Another way she might attempt to regain control is by manipulating the communication dynamic. She may reduce her availability, take longer to respond to messages, or cancel plans at the last minute. These actions are designed to signal that she is still in charge of when and how interactions happen. Many men instinctively chase harder in response, trying to re-establish the connection on her terms. This is exactly what you should avoid. Instead, mirror her behavior by prioritizing your time and staying indifferent to her attempts at control. She might also become overly critical or judgmental, pointing out flaws she never mentioned before or questioning your decisions. This tactic is meant to destabilize your confidence. She may say things like, "I don't understand why you're doing this, it's not the person I thought you were," or criticize your goals and lifestyle choices. Understand that this isn't genuine feedback, it's an attempt to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Rather than engaging with her negativity, maintain your composure and stay committed to your path. Confidence in your own decisions is the ultimate rebuttal to her critiques. On a social level, she may try to assert dominance by showcasing her independence and social value. She might post pictures with friends, attend events without informing you, or emphasize how well she's doing without your attention. This is another attempt to provoke a reaction and make you feel like you're missing out. The right response? Focus on your own life. Invest in your goals, improve yourself, and show that her actions don't affect your progress. A high-value man doesn't get sidetracked by such displays. Ultimately, her attempts to reassert dominance stem from discomfort with losing control. By maintaining your frame, staying indifferent to her provocations, and continuing to focus on your priorities, you reinforce your value and show that you're not a man who can be manipulated. A calm, steady demeanor will always outlast her attempts to dominate. Number 7, she pursues you more aggressively. When a woman senses that you've truly lost interest, her instinctual response is often to chase you more assertively. This reaction stems from a mix of curiosity, frustration, and the fear of losing someone she once held influence over. Women are naturally drawn to what feels rare or just beyond their grasp, and when you subtly signal that her hold over you has weakened, it triggers her competitive drive. One of the first signs of this shift is an uptick in her communication. If she once waited for you to reach out, now she's the one initiating. She may start texting unexpectedly, checking in out of the blue, or engaging with your social media posts more frequently. These actions aren't random, they're deliberate attempts to pull you back into her orbit. The key here is to remain composed, don't rush to match her enthusiasm. Maintaining a calm and slightly detached demeanor keeps the power dynamic in your favor. Beyond communication, she may also drop any pretense of being hard to get. The mystery she once maintained starts to fade as she becomes more direct about wanting to spend time with you. She might reminisce about shared experiences, saying things like, "I miss how we used to be," or "We always had such a great connection." While it's tempting to fall back into familiar patterns, it's essential to recognize that this shift is a reaction to your change in behavior. Instead of immediately validating her pursuit, let her actions demonstrate her true intentions over time. Another telltale sign is an increased sense of competition. If she suspects you might have other women in your life, she'll likely intensify her efforts to stand out. This could involve highlighting her best qualities, subtly downplaying potential rivals, or emphasizing how well she understands you compared to others. These behaviors are strategic. She wants to re-establish herself as the most valuable option in your eyes. The best response? Acknowledge her efforts, but don't surrender control of the dynamic. Additionally, she may become far more available than before. If she once played games with her time or made you wait for her attention, she may suddenly clear her schedule to accommodate you. Her eagerness to reconnect is an attempt to reignite the initial spark that attracted you. While it's fine to engage to some extent, maintain your standards. A man of high value doesn't rearrange his priorities just because someone starts showing interest again. Ultimately, her intensified pursuit is a direct response to your decision to pull back and focus on yourself. By staying grounded and not rushing to meet her halfway, you reinforce the reality that your attention is something to be earned, not freely given. This dynamic keeps her invested and ensures that any renewed connection happens on your terms, not hers. When a woman senses your interest fading, her response often reveals the underlying power dynamics in the relationship. Whether through emotional swings, subtle mind games, or a sudden surge of pursuit, each action is an attempt to reclaim control and draw you back in. Your strength lies in emotional discipline, unwavering self-respect, and maintaining your frame. By refusing to react impulsively or compromise your priorities, you establish yourself as a high-value man who cannot be swayed. The key is unwavering consistency. Stay grounded, observe her actions over words, and let the balance of power remain firmly in your hands.